Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. Zombies is a 2017 horror movie that stars Stephen Luke, Tony Todd, who you may remember from the Candyman movies, Raina Hayne and Amanda Day. And it's a movie that there are so many zombie movies out there. It's a genre that is completely and utterly saturated. Now, I will only generally watch a zombie movie if it has got something different, like the girl with all the gifts earlier this year and stuff. However, I thought with a title as blatant as this, we might be in for something a little bit different here. Um, because it's just, there's no secret in this title what this movie's about, let's be honest. It's zombies. So, what do we get with this movie? Well, essentially, at the beginning of the movie, we meet the lead character who is in a jail cell. The zombie apocalypse has started. We don't know why he's in the jail cell. We're not told that. His mate's in the cell next to him, but he's already infected. He's on his way to becoming a zombie. Tony Todd is obviously some kind of lieutenant or detective in this police station. He comes and releases him from the prison. The zombies everywhere. They get out and they escape, and then we meet them again sometime later. And they are holed up in this building. And what they tend to do is they hold up in this building to try and survive. And then this guy, the lead character, goes out. Who you see on screen there? He goes out and scavenges. He looks for survivors and he looks for supplies. And he's a bit of a badass. He goes out and he can handle himself. And after a few escapades, he runs into his long lost love, long lost love. And I think it's her sister. It's not made clear in the movie, but I think it's her sister, who live out in the countryside with the father, and they've come into the city to get supplies. They help him out of a sticky situation, go back to his base. It all goes to hell. He ends up going out to the country, and they have to fight off this horde of zombies at this country house where they're staying at. That's kind of the story. Yeah, I don't want to say more without giving spoilers, but that's kind of the gist that you've got here. Now, to be fair, I mean, this film, despite having a bit of charm about it, isn't a very good movie. There's a lot of things that let it down, which we'll go into, but there is no clear story here in this film. There's no real story to speak of. There's no direction for the characters. It's just survive, really. So there's not an awful lot of narrative really in the film. I thought who they got as the male lead, Stephen Luke, I believe he's called. He wasn't good enough to carry the film. I wouldn't go as far as to say his acting was bad. I've seen far better, but I've seen far worse. But for a lead in your movie, I didn't believe him, and I couldn't get behind him as the lead character. He wasn't charismatic enough, and he didn't have the emotional range to carry a lot of the stuff off. Tony Todd's basically just in autopilot in this movie. Some of the zombie makeup effect is you rate it from pretty poor to average. Really, the zombie effects aren't brilliant. Some of the CGI in the movie's poor. The blood effects, things like that. There's some terrible dialogue in the movie. One of them at one point says, "4 of us against thousands. I like them odds," and you just kind of like, oh, things like that. And there's another scene where they're mowing down zombies in a combine harvester, and one of them says, "A combine and zombies, a zombine," and you just really. It kind of felt a bit like a video game at times. It felt like a cross between State of Decay and Dead Rising and 7 Days to Die, all rolled up into one to make it this zombie movie. But none of it really worked tremendously well. They have this female as the main villain for the first half of the movie, and she's shocking. She's really, really bad as a villain, very comic booky, and the worst evil laugh you've ever heard in your life. And the action's not brilliant, but it's okay at times. But it does end with a reasonably decent emotional kick at the end, and it was almost Mist-like in the ending, if you remember that Stephen King movie Mist. So while I can't really recommend this movie because it isn't a very good movie at all, it's hard to deny that it kind of grows on you, and it does have a certain charm by the end. But it's got so many faults in this movie, it's hard to ignore them. So if you like movies like this may well be for you.